Not ready yet. Y'all ain't ready yet, chat. Y'all not ready yet. Hey, I think we can play this on YouTube, so I'm starting YouTube before this whole shit even kick off. By the way, YouTube Premium is on. Y'all harassed me long enough. We got this shit going on. Let me see. Hold on, I don't think y'all ready for that one. That one hitting too hard for y'all. Y'all can't fuck with that one right now. Y'all can't fuck with that one right now. That shit hitting too hard right now. Let's test the waters. We gonna test the waters. Let me load the YouTube shit that I'm not getting no type of takedown notices. I like that Drake is doing this. And I like every artist doing this. I think artists should release their music with a grace period for reactors. For people who react, because really, you can't react only on Twitch, and who's the only music nigga really on Twitch? Is really me. I mean, other people do music, but like they do a bunch of other things. Okay, all right, let me just make sure. Gotta make sure we don't get no flags for this bitch. Let's see. Let's start it off a little bit light. Let's go. Let's see how this go. Okay. Am I tripping? For me, nah, fuck that. Let's get to the shit. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We going back. We going back. We can finally play. Yo, we could probably play these songs. Knowing Drake, he gonna put this shit gonna be up on DSPs. I would imagine by like 3 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so let's play the shit out of it while we can on YouTube because listen, he ain't just putting this out to just be cute. Okay, let's run this back. No Face. I think this is the lead one from this 3-pack. By the way, this is the second 3-pack Drake has goddamn dropped. Okay,
how you get
let's run it back. Again, I ain't gonna lie. Drake back to nasty, huh? Let's run back from the top. Nah, that flow nasty. I ain't gonna lie, the first minute of the song is just snapping. I like this. the circadian rhythm one time, and we'll get into the talking. All right. Hold on. I know I said I was gonna stop playing music, but hold up a second, because I also sent out a tweet. So wait, now I think this is the best chorus. Now the best verse is definitely on No Face, but I don't know about the chorus for it though. That first verse, the first minute, because Drake just immediately jumps into a like a verse. It's bananas. I don't know about the chorus. I'm gonna run it back real quick. Who is this? Now Drizzy tapped into a different bag with this. Recap. Drake drops. By the way, I forgot why. I don't even know why I didn't mention it to y'all. I guess because I started mentioning the whole thing about Drake dropping a track without Yachty. I actually heard that too, that it was gonna be a possible 3-pack, and I was like, hey, what? I was like, why would Drake drop another 3-pack? So it is apparently another 3-pack. Drake has dropped 3 tracks, if you guys don't know. One track is the No Face joint, which has Playboy Cardi ad-libs. We get another track, which is the track we've heard before, without Yachty at this time. And by the way, if you guys didn't realize the difference with Super Soak or SOD, whatever you call it, he's essentially like he added some new riffs and there's like a whole new little, like he's harmonizing a bit. I kind of like that. And then we have Circadian Rhythm, which is the language 2, which some people are pointing out that, I believe in 616 by Kendrick, he mentions Circadian Rhythm. Anyway, what are we supposed to take of this? And by the way, welcome to everybody and welcome to the stream. Welcome to everybody who's here. All right, cool. Bunch of things to get into. Obviously, this leak, is kind of surprising. And I ain't gonna lie, I went to different places to just look at opinions. And not that I needed to formulate my opinion, but I was just looking at how people were reacting to this. And I realized, obviously, we're gonna have what we call the K-bots, the Kendrick Lamar fans who are just disgruntled because they claim they want to battle, but their artists won't give them no more music. So I understand. It's like, what I mean? It's like imagine a puppy bragging that their mommy got the best titty milk, except they don't get no titty milk no more. Okay, they only got it once. Anyway, so pretty much all the K-Bot fans, they're obsessed with Drake now because they can't get no music from their artists, and I get it. However, I know they're gonna be whatever. But then I was looking at the Drake fans, what were they thinking? Then I was looking at the neutral fans. And I was seeing a lot of different things, depending on where I went. I went to the shade room. I wanted to see what the women think. That's what we should care about, right? The women. Like Drake right now is trying to, he basically said these niggas are making songs for guys. I'm making songs for women. I went to shade room. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't that positive for Drake. Now, I like these songs. Let me just give my synopsis and then we'll kind of flow into all this shit. But the 3 songs that dropped, I like it. No Face, I think this is a really good song. Super Soak, it's a joint that you could play around the chicks. That's a joint that I really like. Circadian Rhythm, I like as well. So I like all 3. Being honest, do I think any of these are like super smash songs? No. I'm gonna be honest with you, and you see, as much as I just gave compliment because I have to be myself and be honest. Watch, everybody's gonna ignore my compliments and just try to take this part. I hold Drake to a higher standard, though. I hold Drake to, Drake could drop great or good songs all day long, but I usually believe if Drake drops 6 songs, and in 6 of his songs, 1 is going to be a worldwide smash. And I guess maybe that's what I'm waiting for, right? So all these songs are good. He hasn't dropped a whack song. He hasn't missed. But we're not, like, let's compare it to baseball. We don't want to see a single or a double. Not even a triple. We want to see the grand slam. And, comparing it back to when Drake was in that time after the Pusha T beef, he was hitting grand slams, right? Sicko Mode, God's Plan, Mob Ties, Nonstop. All those were grand slams, right? So again, we're kind of watching this, but this is a little bit different because the way how Drake is even releasing these songs are a little bit different. Like, with all due respect, from what I've heard, the label is catching up to him. He's like, there's no plan to promote anything other than just leaking it on a Finsta. So it's not like they're like putting money behind these records. And maybe like Drake is probably trying to use this as a test to see if something catches steam that they could really go behind. But it's kind of like no promo music. And here's the thing when it comes to no promo music, even if it's a good song, it has to be like some crazy infectious song for us to be like, okay, no, this is the one. what a lot of y'all might not realize is that we are a product of promo. So when Drake is dropping these songs, I think all these songs are good. But brother, you just dropped It's Up. It's up. It's actually up. It debuted like in the top 30. You should work that record. Maybe do a video for that record. Maybe try to send it to radio. Like, that record is pretty good. That record could go. However, he's chosen to just drop records, and he's using, this new method, like how we used to use OVO. I remember the blog spot that they had for October's very own. Then they use the SoundCloud thing. So it's very interesting how Drake is dropping these records. Again, none of these records are whack. But again, and this has to be known, because we compare Drake to the greats, and when I mean the greats, we compare him to the GOAT. And really, we're comparing him to himself. It's like comparing LeBron to Michael Jordan. I think Drake is Michael Jordan already. But we don't want to, okay, for example, I'll give you an example. Super Soak is like a Western Conference final. It's a Western Conference final appearance. It's not a championship. Like, these days, we just want championships from Drake. And it's a very high standard to achieve, and it is what it is. But, that's just what it is. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I know there are people who are trying to, like, bring him down by being like, oh, my God, like, you're dropping a lot of records. All these records are good. The thing is, Drake fans, they want #1 Billboard, One Dances, God's Plan. They want motherfucking Hotline Blings, right? And I think Drake is throwing out a bunch of stuff that I believe he's playing with. I personally can't gauge if Drake is, one, just hoping something sticks because maybe he doesn't have the idea of what would stick, or maybe he's just saying, I'm just feeding the people. Now, here's also where I'm calling a dilemma, right? So, I'm a huge Drake fan. Everybody knows this. As a huge Drake fan, I want Drake to drop music every 5 minutes. Like, why wouldn't you want your favorite artist to drop music all the time? So I'm caught in between always wanting new Drake music and then also thinking on a critic, this is my job type of thing. Okay, do I want him to maybe not necessarily just give us 3 songs every 2 weeks? Or maybe he should, I don't know, craft an EP. Like, bro, you're clearly locked in the studio. It's clear that you're still making music. Maybe curate a project. Not just, use us as A&Rs. So that's what I think on the on my critique end. But as a fan, of course I want this song. Like, shit, if I had these songs, like, say Drake would send me, he doesn't, but say he would send, say I was one of those people who would just send me, like, songs he didn't drop. Nigga, this would be burning a hole in my hand because these songs are hot. But I think we also look at him as he's always been have a high batting average, that we don't look at him with all due respect, and this is my guy, I love him, so I'm not dissing him, and this is not a diss. He's not young boy, right? He's not, I'm just gonna drop a bunch of music, let's see what happens, right? He's also not Future. I'm gonna drop a bunch of shit, one gonna hit. Even though Future's amazing, we know that. He's usually more of a, when I pop out, it's it. So, again, the No Face record I like, but I'm criticizing more of the release schedule here. It's like too quick. Like, we were just with, like, bro, this No Face record is fire, but like, nigga, I'm still on that Up record. Anyway, that's what I think. Okay. So we get 3 more tracks. I like all 3 more tracks. I don't know his release schedule or what he has in mind. I don't know if he's using us as a opportunity to test okay, let me see if this is it. You know, it might be a situation where this is how he found like God's plan, right? He released God's plan with like diplomatic immunity and like maybe one other song, right? I think it was Omerta, right? Was it that? Omerta diplomatic? No, I don't think that was it. But anyway, it was in a pack. So anyway, I don't know his release schedule. As a fan, I'm happy to get new music by him. I'm glad he's back talking his shit. Super Soak is a joint that I think he could push, but I do think I worry about him not getting back into the groove of, bro. Super Soak is a record you could push, and that shit is going to last for a couple of months. It's not the biggest record, or it's not going to be the biggest record because it's not the hottest record, but it's definitely a hit. So I don't understand the thinking in how he's dropping music, but I can't complain as a fan because I'm liking the music. I hope that makes sense to y'all, right? No Face, of course, is hard as fuck. You get what I'm saying? Play No Face again? All right, let's run it back one more time. Now, yeah, people said play it again. All right. All right, bet. And thank you, Ariel on YouTube. It says, yo, not every Drake song need to be a one dance or a hotline bling. He can say that for his next album. This shit is hard as fuck, and Drake fans are happy. Let me ask y'all a question then. So this is a good time to ask this question. Do y'all rather Drake curate the catalog where like, if he's gonna drop, it's gonna be the one? Or I ain't gonna lie, there's so many songs, like I've heard songs of Drake, like, whether it's a producer or whether somebody had a feature or whatever, and it just never came out. And really, Drake used to really like care so much about what got out because he would almost look at it like, well, if I'm flying on 80,000 feet, I just don't want anything that people could be like, oh, that don't sound like the nigga who don't miss, right? So all these records that could be like B-side records or records who, they're cool, they got cut. Maybe this is the wave he's on now, this Finsta wave, right? Because, he's doing this thing on his Finsta, plot twist, right? he's dropping these records. Like, I don't know if y'all know that SOD track. That SOD track is 3 years old. Just to let y'all know, like, that shit wasn't cooked up this year. This shit, that's 3 years old, like 2020, 2021, right? That's when that track was, cooked up. To be honest, from what I heard, Drake forgot about the track until Kai played it. So it wasn't a track that he was like, oh my God, I gotta drop this. But it's a cool track. People like it. It is hot, right? But for whatever reason, he didn't want to put it out, or he didn't care to like up the urgency 3 years ago. Now he wants to put it out now. So, I think we might be in the era of Drake just, giving us these records. Again, these, obviously there's no promo behind any of this shit, but maybe he's in the era of like, yo, I'm going to save the great shit for my album. But bro, I'm going to still feed the streets. I got some decent records or some good records. Maybe not records I would go out as a single with, but I can use my Finsta, kind of drop it like in whatever. And I think that's what he's kind of on. You get what I'm saying? I think that's what he's kind of on. So while I was looking at this, right? I ain't gonna lie. I went to the shade room. I had to go to the shade room. The reason why I went to the shade room is because the shade room is going to give us what the women are thinking. Now, we all know the shade room respectfully. It's like bitter baby mamas and shit like that. But still, we want to hear what they got to say, because Drake do say he make the song for the women. So I'm now scrolling. And let's read some of these comments. He said, man dropped 15 tracks, nothing shake. Damn, that Kendrick effect is serious. Now, this is a guy here talking. But he's basically saying that Drake has dropped a bunch of tracks since the battle with Kendrick. And he feels like maybe Drake is, he's trying to catch one, but everything ain't catching. Okay, that's his opinion. This is a woman right here. She says, unpopular opinion, all of his stuff is sounding the same. That's interesting. Reese Gold says, so we're still pretending that Drake lost it, huh? Okay, all right. They're fucking with Jersey. Old man something, this is a guy, says he's trying to see if it's safe to come outside. Okay, sorry. Navia says, Drake don't hit the same like he used to. Jamal says, them superpowers really neutralized. The famous actor, okay, he's quoting Kendrick. Somebody says, it's just not the same. Kendrick a bad man. Somebody said, bro, testing the waters to see people's reactions. Somebody said, never, I thought I'd see the day when Drizzy was scared to drop. I don't care what nobody say. The beef did a number on him for real. He ain't fell off, but he just ain't the same. Life will really humble you. Damn. Bastilio says his raps don't even sound believable anymore. What did Kendrick do to this man? Munyon, he's with the program. He says, yo, all three is fire. Please don't lie on this goddamn app. Poet next door, he says, y'all can say what y'all want. Kendrick definitely took a couple infinity stones from Drake. Never thought I'd see today. Black Child says, it's like listen to Ja Rule after 50 torture. And I've seen this comment on a few other blogs, and I wanted to talk about that. So, number one, I've always said this. Music is so subjective that unless you get that 0.001% type of record that's undeniable, that it don't matter. Like, it don't matter even if you could be a serial killer with one eye, half a leg, but that song is going, nobody could deny it. A lot of times, the way how music is perceived or felt depends on how people feel about the artist. That's what I've always said. One of the big things for artists is likability and for them to use their image. That's why I was getting that baby. You got to be trendy. Like, if people think that you've fallen out of the trendiness, your music sounds different. When people want, this is why like hip hop it's a lifestyle almost. Right? It's a 360 lifestyle. When people feel like they want to dress like you, talk like you, your music is more relatable because outside of the music, they're already gravitating towards you, right? And I say that to say music, especially hip hop music, is always processed in the brain of the listeners by what do we think of this person, right? There's a time people used to think Drake's music was corny. Then everyone thought he was cool. And then everyone's like, oh, no, Drake is like Drake, right? And now, I will admit this. I do think some people who have been caught up on the battle, those people, it's not that Drake is making whack music. But their perception of Drake, and this is where it goes to the Ja Rule after 50. Like, some people, if you go back to the Ja Rule situation, people would act like Ja Rule literally lost the ability to make music after he beefed with 50. That wasn't the case. Now, there was sometimes Ja was stepping out of his character. Like, for example, he was the guy that was, what would I do without my baby? Like, he was doing all that singing stuff, and 50 started clowning him about the singing stuff, so he started going with different type of, flows and styles, and like, we gonna clap back. Like, he started, rapping a little bit more, and maybe he should have never ditched from his style, but primarily people stopped liking a lot of offerings from Ja Rule because we got to be clear about this. People just felt like after he lost the battle, he just wasn't cool anymore. It was just like unpopular. It's that's the thing that rap battles, that what people never want to admit. The ramification of rap battles, we hope nobody dies, right? Like we've seen on the extreme circumstances where people die in a rap battle, right? Like, this is really high tense moments, and then somebody goes out and somebody commits violence, and that violence could turn to the death of one of the artists. We never want that to happen. Those are one of the most tragic times in hip-hop history. But usually what the ramification of a rap battle is not, it's not like for example, think about Quavo and Chris Brown. They went at it, but they're not dire consequences. Like, okay, some people think Chris Brown won that, right? A lot of people think Chris Brown won that. But nobody looks at, like, Quavo to be like, bruh, yo shit just not hot no more because Chris Brown won, right? Let's look at Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj. I don't think that's the case with them either. But you get sometimes where it becomes titans, like a Kendrick and a Drake. And again, this is a championship fight. This is Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. This is just one of those, right? Where it's going to change the trajectory of how people think about these artists. And now people are looking at Drake like they haven't looked at him before, I want to say 2014. And let me be clear why I say 2014. If I map out Drake's career has the we think he's corny era, he's soft and sensitive era, and then it goes into, but he makes songs for the bitches and he's in the clubs, to the point where I won't say he's cool, but people are like, bruh, he locked in with all the cool niggas. He cool. You get what I'm saying? That's after about 2014 when he locks in with Future for real, for real. If we really want to be honest with the timeline, from 2014, now Drake is like the guy, right? And when I mean the guy is like, I remember when, like, some of you, I don't know how, everybody spam their age. Spam your age. Even if you're in the comment section right now on YouTube watching a clip that Drill just cut, just spam your age. Just say how old you are. But also, not how old you are in 2024, how old were you in 2011? Because here's the thing. Nowadays, we all accept that Take Care is a classic, but when it came out, niggas was slandering that shit. I remember Charlemagne, who, obviously the Breakfast Club was super dominant at the time. He had this famous joke. He said, this is shake weight music. This is soft. I remember I did a video back then, and Drake's my favorite rapper, but it was just easy to make jokes on it. This is Kleenex music, right? It was just all about, like, saying that Drake's music was like this sensitive, niche type of thing for beta males, right? Like, that was kind of let's be honest, right? Now, granted, I think that album is appreciated so much with time, but that's how Drake was perceived going into, like, when Drake sings Mob Ties, like, obviously he didn't do a video, whatever, but, not saying niggas is like saying, oh no, Drake is super tough, but like, niggas isn't saying, why is Drake talking about Mob Ties? Do you remember when Drake did the Headlines video? Again, I'm gonna go back to Charlamagne because he was just one of the biggest detractors of Drake at the time. He was just like, this nigga Drake got a bunch of goons behind him in the Headlines video, like they're about to do a flash mob and go rob like a store in the mall. You know what I mean? Headlines, and he was just like, Drake got the most non-threatening goons. You know what I mean? It was like that. These were the conversations people were having, about Drake. Just basically almost trying to say, like, this nigga's soft, right? he starts linking up with a lot of the hood dudes, and this is why I get some of what Ross's gripe is supposed to be, because I think Ross it feels like, yo, nigga, I helped co-sign you were like, nigga, you were like the nigga who nobody would even think is even, you know what I mean, in those type of area. Like, bro, we kind of gave you the hood pass, basically. You get what I'm saying? To the point that later on, like, we don't blink an eye. We don't have these thoughts when he made songs afterwards that either he was talking spicy or whatever. But at this time, that's what that was, right? Now, why am I saying all this? I'm going back to the comment that says it's like listening to Ja Rule after 50 torched him. Now, again, let's not get into me and my stand-em, and I will say stand-em for this topic. And me arguing who won the battle or whatever. But let's just go with what some people believe is general consensus about. Okay, they felt like Drake didn't take the win. I do believe, and this isn't me, but there are some people. Like, I was just watching people react to these songs. Like, my criticism of these songs is that there is no number one hit song. What's the number one hit song? Hotline Bling, One Dance, God's Plan, Jimmy Cooks. Like, these are songs that so fire, you're like, yo, this is a number one song. All of these songs Drake has dropped, all good. They're all good to great songs. But obviously, they're just not the best, most infectious songs. So that's my only critique of these songs. Right? That's my only critique. And I'm like, oh, Drake is finally, like, kind of giving us B-side records, or records that maybe he wouldn't necessarily work if he was dropping an album, but he's feeding the streets. So whatever is a trade-off, I'll take it. So I don't look at it like, oh, no, Drake ain't the same. But I started to read comments, and I'm reading, like, other people's perspective. Now, again, I'm not talking about the K-bots. Like the K-bots, they're delusional. They're upset. They feel they want to beef, but their favorite rapper won't give them another song. The song they're going to have to listen to for the next 5 years, the last song from that nigga, is going to be Not Like Us. They're going to be crip walking, doing all type of shit like this for a long time. They're upset. I get it. So I'm not looking at their opinion, because, you know, if they can't focus on their artists, they're just going to hate on Drake. I'm looking for the neutrals. The people who, they don't have too much stake in the battle, or they don't like or hate Drake either too much or too little. The girls, you know, the women who, you know, again, the beautiful thing about most women is that, you know, like me, I love rap beef. I love lyrical competition. I love competition generally. A woman is like, yo, you drop a song, hands on your knees, shake that ass. Like, they're like, oh my God, this is my favorite. Like, they don't give two fucks like that, right? Like they kind of go to the beat or the harmony or the melody of whatever is popping at the time. So I'm looking at their opinion, but also like the neutrals. And then when I've seen this a few times, they're like, yo, it feels like Ja Rule after 50 torch him. And that's when I realized, I said, a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but a lot of the neutrals, right? Drake fans don't think like that, by the way. A lot of neutrals believe, when they hear Drake's music now, they're hearing it with a filter. What does that mean? If Drake had dropped 6 songs, let's say all 6 of these songs prior to his battle with Kendrick Lamar, I believe those same fans would be like, yo, Drake is sparking. He can't, yo, the nigga still, he always got some shit. And I'm just trying to show you that, you know, the narrative and perception that goes into what after a battle or whatever, you know, this rap shit's about what's cool. This is why Future's lasted so long, right? No matter how old Future is, no matter what he does, we just look at him as the epitome of cool. He could drop a record anytime, it's always gonna hit. Like, that's Future is the Future. Like, you can't name me another artist that I would say the majority of the culture, no matter if they like him for some of the toxic shit or not, people just look at Future like, yo, that's the nigga. You get what I'm saying? That's why, like, nobody mentions his age. None of the shit that people use for other people, they use on Future. He's cool. So what I realize now is, like, I do think the battle affected certain neutrals and even certain women to a certain extent to now look at Drake's music to say, it don't hit the same. Why? Because at this moment, I think they don't look at Drake as cool anymore because of the battle. Because of the battle, honestly. So, I'm looking at people like kind of talking about these tracks, and I'm like, when I see somebody be like, no, this shit just don't hit the same anymore, I'm like, oh, okay, so you're indoctrinated by the narrative. Regardless, they're pretty decent songs. They're pretty decent or good songs. I like all of them. You know what I mean? That No Face record, I really like. Let's keep reading some of the comments. Y'all gotta just let him have a hit or else he's going to keep harassing us with new music. Okay, that's a guy saying that. Here's a woman. This man don't miss. All of these are fire. Okay? It looks like there's a bunch of dudes hating in the comment section. Man dropped 15 tracks. Nothing shake. Damn, that Kendrick effect is serious. So it look like it's men saying stuff. The women don't look like they're... Okay, there's a woman right here. Unpopular opinion, all of his stuff is sounding the same. That's like that narrative. It's like they want to hate on him, right? Then you get Reese Gold says, so we're still pretending that Drake lost it, right? So they're fucking with Drake. Navia says, Drake doesn't hit the same like he used to. And honestly, that I believe is just a narrative thing. Like people, have you ever gone back to some songs that popped off and you're like, how did this song work? But then you realize, like, y'all gonna, not to say she's not gonna be hot, but Sexy Red. In 5 years, y'all gonna play that song, the one where she's like, is it you? Y'all gonna play that song in 5 years and say, how on God's green earth did people listen to this track and say it was hot? Like Sexy Red songs, same with Ice Spice. When they get the momentum of, we're the new cool thing, even a mid song for them works. So like, I guess I'm giving up like something you should probably already know. Part of your music working is people thinking that, number one, you're hot, and number one, you're so cool. It's like, I was looking at YK Osiris recently, and he's like, I'm about to go hard with the music. And he's dropping some snippets, and I'm like, what nobody's going to tell YK Osiris, right, is that his actions, I think, with Diddy, then singing for Drake, like in the living room, and some other things that made him look a little corny. Bro, he has to come with a 0.001% type record that's undeniable for everybody in the world for him to get back popping, rather than if he was like seen as the cool guy or the guy who was usually making good music, or, no, we like this guy, we want to be like him, we talk like we support him. He could drop a regular decent track and the track would still go. I hope that makes sense to y'all. Somebody said, act. You're getting old. No. This is not an old thing. It's about what I've realized about the music industry. Like, just hear me out. Do y'all really think that musicians just lose the ability to make hot records? Or maybe it's that fans, we get into certain modes. Like think about 6ix9ine. If 6ix9ine, this is my real opinion, right? If 6ix9ine dropped, like, Tati was one of his popular records back in the day. If he dropped that record now, it just wouldn't go. Number one, it just wouldn't make sense. But also, like, yeah, it sounds good sonically, but there's no energy to it. There's no meaning. There isn't a 360 view of why that record would go. Like, again, if you think that artists only fall off because they can't make hot music, that's just not how music works. It's like producers. You think producers just lose the talent of making hot beats? No. They have a sound. Like, for example, and I'm not wishing on him, Cash Cobain. Cash Cobain right now, his sound is hot. I've said this, bro. I've been in this shit for 15 years. Call me old, I guess. You could do that if you want. But there's going to be a time that people are going to say, we tired of that Cash Cobain sound. And unless he pivots, he could keep making this particular sound, but people are going to act like it's just whack as fuck. That's just how it goes. People fall in love with something, it's cool for a while, and that's how hip-hop is. And then we're like, No, that's lame now. It's like clothing. It's like fashion trends. That's how shit kind of goes. Do you get what I'm saying? I think most of y'all get it, so I won't explain too much. Some people said Drake took it down. Um. Okay, so I guess I should ask, right? I guess I should ask. What do y'all? Hold on. What do y'all think about Drake's release strategy? I think it's a good way for him to give his fans music. But some people believe this is him being scared. This is him, they were attacking him during the battle saying, "Yo, you were scared to what they say he was scared to do. Yo, you were scared to put your name on or put a stamp on the record, like for example, push-ups, right? Because people are like, yo, it came out through the leak, he didn't claim it." So some people believe that the way he's dropping music now, like he's just kind of putting it out, not just straight to DSPs. Maybe he's scared. I think he's trying to. In times of turmoil, you lock in with your base. You always do that. Anytime somebody get at you, you gotta lock in with your base. When the masses start doubting you, the casual fans, what you do, you lock in with your base. I think Drake sits back and says, you know what? A bunch of these people, they bumping not like us this and third. Some of them, a lot of them saying I lost. Whatever. You know how I come back, or you know how I regain absolute dominance that I've had for the last 10, 15 years? I lock back in with my fan base. I'm going to give my fan base exactly what they want from me. And by the way, remember I told you, I was talking to Drake, and Drake said the same thing to me. He said, yo, I'm going to go back to giving my fans what they want from me, what they expect from me. What do Drake fans want from Drake? Number one, always more music. Always more bops. Like, these are songs that I think he's trying to drop for his fan base who loves the majority of his music and catalog anyway. So maybe he's not trying to please the masses because, yeah, they're not the biggest hits in the world. But if you're a Drake fan and you hear No Face, you hear Up, you hear Red, Blue, Green, you hear Circadian Rhythm, you're going to like these songs. Like, these songs are fire songs. I like them. So as a fan, and if you're his core, which I think he's trying to tap into right now, I think he's doing the right thing. For the masses, they're going to come with the other excuses. Nah, he's scared. Oh, man, Kendrick did a wonder on him. Oh, he ain't hitting the same no more. So, again, what do y'all think about that? So, I see y'all saying that he deleted it. He deleted it off of his... Well, he deleted one. That's SOD. SOD's still up. And Circadian Rhythm is still up, but I guess he deleted the No Face. I'm wondering why that. I would think he would delete all three of them, not only one. Let's run this back real quick again. What? By the way, we're not only playing this song for the rest of the night. We're gonna talk about this for about like maybe I like that line. I like that line. So I'm finally glad that niggas who envied that held it in finally got to show it. It, it feels like we're about to get on the, Revenge Drake era is always a good era. Revenge Drake, I don't trust niggas Drake. That's always a good era because even though he's obviously, it sounds ridiculous ever calling him an underdog, when he's in his revenge mode, it's almost like back against the wall. I don't know who I could trust. That's a good Drake right there. Like he's gonna be giving us those records that's more relatable, right? Because I think we all could relate to that perspective. Like, yo, I don't know who I could trust out here. Yo, my back against the wall. I'm just trying to go crazy, turn. Agree that Drake is locking back in with his fans, just like you laid out with Drake pre 2014. He's thrived and ridiculed before. Yeah, he definitely has. Definitely. Say he's repeating how he got here by staying consistent and present. No, I agree. I agree. And I think also us as fans, we got to just watch and enjoy the ride. Where I keep hearing people say, "Yo, he should take a break. He should do this. He should do that." Um, who knows? Drake might be cooking up a double disc, a triple disc. He obviously is cooking up supposedly a collab album with Party Next Door. If I think he says it on one of the record. I don't know if it was the Circadian Rhythm record or maybe it was No Face. He's like, "Yo, I'm locked into the studio. I'm doing shit." Maybe these records we're getting are just the throwaways out of what's gonna be on a project soon. So, like, if you're a fan, why would you be mad that you're getting some of the throwaways before he drops the real shit? It's clear that he's cooking up projects at this point, but we're still getting music. It's not like we're just gonna like, all right, we're he didn't go dark. Get what I'm saying?
What? What?
Okay. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. I think this will be on streaming platforms by noon. I think noon. By noon, it will be on streaming platforms. Definitely. Today's Saturday, right? Is today Saturday? Yeah, we're now in the Saturday. Yeah, I think it'll be on streaming platforms today. Okay. By the way, y'all want a little bit of tea? I will. I've heard. Remember, I told you about the Super Soak track. I heard the Super Soak track. It's supposed to be a clean record. Drake's on the record, clearly not keeping it clean, right? I think we could play it. Where is that?
I ain't gon' judge cause that was way before. Crying on me, crying on me.
Now, from what I hear, and by the way, shout to Mr. Hotspot. He had hit me and he said, "Ak, yo, we sent a clean reference." So basically, he's trying to work with trying to get this record out, but he was very adamant to me where he says, "Yo, Ak, yo, we gotta do this for the kids." And by the way, he did an interview recently. I don't know if y'all seen this. He was talking about the record. He was talking about the record. Let me see. Can I find it? Can I find it? Or maybe I cannot. Let's go this week. Yeah, he basically.
What's going on, people? It's another.
Basically did like a mukbang with this guy, and then yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Joe,
Like that. Yeah.
hey, we might have to go to the studio soon if you try to do it. Y'all check out your career.
You gonna give me my first LA Try Guy song, man. You know. Speaking of songs, by the way, bro, I saw your song "Goodness Gracious" got sampled by Young Yachty and Drake. That's amazing, dude. That's insane. Bro, how did you even find out?
They said they leaked it. They leaked it on Kyle Stream for sure. We gotta hopefully clean it up because I'm usually working with like the community and the children.
Yeah, I know you do a lot with kids and everything.
Yeah. So if we clean it up, I hope everything go well with those boys for sure. Much love to that man Aubrey with Odell. He let us stay at his house for like 2 weeks.
What?
Like some years ago.
At Odell's house?
Nah.
Y'all remember this era right here?
Or
His,
at Drake's house?
When he had the OBO estate.
Really? What was it like staying at Drake's crib for 2 weeks, man?
I had my own room there.
What?
Like, it's a basketball court right here. My room was like right in front of the basketball court, so I could just get up,
hoop.
pool over here.
Wow.
I mean, Aubrey kitchen eating cereal. In there eating cereal.
It's like innocent. He calls Drake Aubrey and he calls Yachty Miles.
Wow. Dude, that's amazing, bro.
Yeah, much love towards him.
Definitely.
My homeboy Tusi went on tour with him.
Oh, yeah?
And he was just telling me how he showed love, so
Really?
it's all respect.
That's dope. That's dope.
And then that man, Miles, Yachty, he from the same part of Atlanta too.
Oh, yeah. Both of y'all from the A, right?
Yeah, he not too far. Like the school he went to wasn't too far from me. And he understand one of my homeboys named Chase Claflin. So we watch him grow to what he is. You understand?
Look, I'm dang near finished with mine, dog. I'm cleaning the bowl over here on this. One thing I like about this a lot, though, man.
All right, so apparently Drake has now put up. He put No Face back up. I don't know if it's a different version. This is the last one. I promise. This is the last one I'm playing. I just want to see if it's a different version because I don't know why he would take it down and put it right back up. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. So he just re-uploaded the same thing. I don't know why he did that. That was a little bit odd, but okay. Whatever. All right, cool. Last thing on this, I seen somebody trying to do some breakdowns or something of the sort. They were like, yo, hey, here's some interest in bars. I guess this is Drake saying there's so many people we turn the table on. Capo got plans, but we'll save that for later on. Hush will keep saying that they know they played it wrong. Hush will keep saying they know that they played it wrong. Okay, all right. And it says, I'm just happy that niggas who envied and held that shit in got to finally show it. I'm over the moon. Yeah, we'll see you boys soon. I can't tell if that's tough talk or he's just basically saying, yo, you know what? I'm glad everybody's against us. I'm going to really turn up. Oh, okay. Oh, what the fuck is this? They said Drake was getting active shooting a music video for last week. It was 3 black Escalades circling with Drake's Mercedes. The fuck is this? Shit look like a crop circle. Like what the fuck is going on here? It's a music video? Okay. All right. Anything else? I guess not. All right. All good. It said Drake warns us that he's about to spin the block. What?
Apple got plans, but we'll say that for later on. Hush keep saying they know that they played it wrong.
I don't think Drake is saying he's gonna spin the block musically. I think Drake takes all this shit personal. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of these niggas who he used to show love to. I think he's sending the message loud and clear. Like when I'm in your city and I'm selling out whatever arena, don't come buddy up with me because it's cool to be around me at that time. Like, y'all niggas is not friends. This was some fake shit. I don't fuck with you, but I'll see y'all soon. And I don't think he means violence necessarily, but it's just like, yo, y'all gonna have to stand on it, right? All right. I think we're good. So, okay. What should I do after this? Anything more on Drake? I think I sent a couple donations, and I just want to make sure I get to all of them. Miguel says Drake is who they send to kill the boogeyman. OVO army is up. Okay, here we go. I politely says Drake is tired of all that disrespect. Okay, it appears that he most definitely is. Okay, let's get on to a few other things. First and foremost, did everybody? Somebody says play the Buffalo freestyle. I can't play that. I think that's actually clipped. Kanye listening party.